So welcome everybody, and as always, Mirasol, here we are, and we're focused on discovery. As always, there's our cautionary statement that I can direct you to, and you can read that at your leisure. Just a quick project portfolio overview. Our current status is we've still got Mirasol funded projects in both Chile, northern Chile and southern Argentina. We have 7 partner funded projects currently ongoing. And as always, we have a strong pipeline of early and mid-stage projects in the portfolio. I'll just quickly run through the partners we currently have working together with us. We have Newcrest up at Corbella. We have First Quantum Minerals with us at Coronation. We have Minera Activa in our Nord project, and Minera Activa is a Chilean private fund. We have Mine Discovery Fund, which is a fund out of Australia, with us at our Ruby project. Golden Arrow, which is a Grosso Group company, is with us in our Libanesa project in Santa Cruz in the south. Patagonia Gold as well is with us on Homanaki. And of course, Silver Sands is with us on our Virginia property in Santa Cruz. So jumping right into it, and Patrick did mention, this is the new kid on the block, and we're pretty excited about Sobek. It's up in the Mayo-Pliocene age mineral belt of northern Chile. We've been able to increase the size of our portfolio of properties at Sobek recently, and now we're just coming over 11,000 hectares in the name of Mirasol up in the belt. It's a porphyry copper, and there also is probably some high sulfidation epithermal gold potential up there. We've got some good neighbors, and just 7 kilometers off to the east, we have Filo del Sol, and 10 kilometers, we've got Jose Maria, who have certainly been in the news lately. This Sobek property is 100% owned by Mirasol. It's not encumbered in any way. It's 100% ours. We've been very lucky to be able to get the surface access agreements secured for the entire property. So we're currently up there working on the property. As you remember, last year, mid-year, we got that aeromagnetic survey completed. We did get a maiden reconnaissance program completed, and we're currently doing follow-up detailed surface exploration as we speak. I have 2 teams up in Sobek working away. Obviously, Sobek is located in one of the world's most endowed regions for gigantic magmatic hydrothermal ore deposits. And, Sobek was staked on, primarily on the prospective local structural architecture. Also, adequate good geology, and we had some from our satellite imagery interpretation, we had some good anomalies, so we got her tied up early. So obviously, Sobek is within that fast developing mineralized district, including, as I mentioned, Filo del Sol and Jose Maria just off to the east of us. Just going into a little bit of detail on Sobek. You remember mid last year that high resolution helicopter supported aeromagnetic survey. We did about 2,700 line kilometers, and that was done by High Sense Geophysics out of Chile. They do a top-notch job. So this has really helped us in getting an improved understanding of the structural architecture of the area. The MAG survey defined multiple highly prospective geophysical mag anomalies, both highs and lows. And this is going to provide us with a very strong base for the ongoing field programs and exploration up at Sobek. Just looking at Sobek Central, the maiden recon we've just done confirmed the presence of significant and widespread areas of strong argillic alteration in the area. There's a volcanic complex hosting rhyodacite and andesitic volcanics. They appear to be flanked to the west and potentially to the east as well now by igneous intrusive rocks of dioritic and probably granodioritic composition. These rocks locally host disseminated magnetite and tourmaline, and also localized zones of strong crackle brecciation within the capping volcanics, with infilled gypsum matrix and siderite veinlets. Looking at the photos on the right-hand side here, you can see it's a challenging topography, but nonetheless, it is accessible. You can get into the guts of all the areas through these eroded valleys. So we're getting through it. It's high altitude, but it's certainly more than workable. So we're we're advancing quite rapidly up there at the moment. At Sobeck South, we've actually only been in there on an initial scouting campaign. We will be going back up there during the month of March. So it seems to be a large hypoabyssal dacitic dome complex in the area, which occupies a fair amount of the property. Auto brecciation textures and low temperature silicification. We've seen some alteration halos on the dome margins. So these peripheral areas of the dome are considered, highly prospective, and these are being reviewed again during the month of March. So the maiden campaign, I guess, has confirmed the presence of porphyry type geology and alteration assemblages. The detailed field review is ongoing. And obviously, we're doing additional geochem sampling, prospecting, detailed geological mapping, and potentially, if we get time before the snow flies, maybe some ground-based geophysical surveys would be helpful in those priority prospect areas. Okay, let's go up to Altusor. Again, as you're probably well aware, that's up in the Miocene belt as well of northern Chile. We have a large portfolio there. It's a high sulfidation epithermal gold property. Really good infrastructure in that area. It is high altitude, but it's got really good infrastructure. It's you get to the project via a 60-kilometer paved highway from the little town of Sucari. That road actually crosses into Argentina at Paso Seco. So good infrastructure. There's a US $3 million expenditure done at that project from our outgoing partner, and that's to find drill-ready targets at Altusor. So Mirasol is working towards that maiden drill program. The community engagement continues, obviously, to address the concerns and address the mutually beneficial agreement with that community. This could be self-funded in Mirasol or potentially bring a partner in. We'll make that final decision in the time that comes. Drilling, although, is anticipated for the end of the 22 season or early in the 2023 season. Altusor represents, a district scale zoned alteration system, and it is preserved at a level that could easily conceal high sulfidation epithermal gold deposits beneath a barren steam heated cap rock and also post mineral cover. To me, this may represent one of the last barren steam heated caps that really hasn't been tested in Chile. So the geological features identified are very similar to other high sulfidation multi-million ounce discoveries in the Miocene belt of Chile. Just south of Altusor, we have Coronation. So obviously still in the Miocene belt. It's a smaller property, but it covers everything we've found of interest to date, so it's large enough. It is porphyry copper, and there seems to be some high sulfidation epithermal gold potential on the east side. It sits about 80 kilometers east of Escondida, and obviously 240 from the large coastal town of Antofagasta on the Chilean coast. First Quantum Minerals is our partner here. So timing under review at the moment for that 3,000 meter drilling commitment they have with us. First Quantum is to advance the community engagement to secure support for the drilling campaign. Surface sampling, alteration, geological mapping, and the geophysical surveys carried out really have outlined an attractive porphyry target that displays a lot of characteristics very similar to other Miocene age porphyry gold copper system in this highly prospective Maricunga belt. I just wanted to add another comment about these indigenous communities where Altusor sits and Coronation sits. So with the new Chilean government and also with the redrafting of the constitution in Chile, these indigenous communities in Chile will probably be further empowered. So, I just want to express it's so important for Mirasol and other companies to fully understand, appreciate, and form appropriate strategies, appropriate relationship strategies to move these projects forward when working in these indigenous regions. And I think always a good place to start with these communities is show them respect, be transparent, and we've had a lot of good experiences with the communities in Chile to date. So It's part of exploration in Chile now, and it's going to become more important as time moves forward. Up at Gorbea, it's further south, but in the Myo-Pliocene belt as well. It's a high sulfidation epithermal gold property, large package of properties. We call this the Gorbea belt, and it hosts 9 distinct properties. It sits about 70 kilometers north of Salares Norte, where Goldfields is putting that into production. Exploration activities last season, or last year before the end of the season. Newcrest is our partner here, and they completed a 2,072 meter reverse circulation drill program, and that was completed just before Christmas, and that was done at Atlas and also at El Dorado. So there was 2 holes at Atlas, and they were designed to follow up on a previously defined widespread gold silver mineralization grade shell, sinking potential extensions and higher grade mineralized zones. There was also 3 holes to test the new target at El Dorado with coincident geochem and geophysical anomalies. And Newcrest has advised us they're going to concentrate for the rest of this field season on a review of some of the other untested prospects in the belt. And those include Ventura, Orion, Aldebaran, and Denai. You can see those on the little map on the left-hand side. So we're looking forward to them getting into the other prospects as well. Just going into Atlas and the exploration results there, the last 2 holes completed at Atlas did restrict potential somewhat. For example, hole 12, which you can see in the middle of your screen just north of the green grade shell, that limited the upside potential to the north, really to the northwest. I still think there is room to the north and the northeast. And hole 11A, which is a little further south there, that was drilled at the Apollo breccia, and it looks like it may have drilled peripheral to the mineralized center previously intersected at Apollo. So no doubt potential still remains to both the east and the west to extend the mineralization and explore for higher grade mineralization, probably in feeder zones and in other breccia zones. And another viable target, which has emerged, lies to the east-southeast, where pathfinder elements, alunite composition, and gold values combine with a high resistivity anomaly. So you can see that on the map on the right, the elongate blue anomaly. So there's still lots to do at Atlas in my mind. Now we're going to go down south to Virginia. That's in Patagonia, in Argentina, in the province of Santa Cruz. Here at Virginia, we still maintain a very large property portfolio. This is low sulfidation epithermal, maybe getting into intermediate sulfidation. It's a silver vein prospect. It sits about 160 kilometers north of Pan American Silver's Manantial Espejo mine. And our partner here is Silver Sands Resources. Exploration activities over the last seasons have been almost 6,000 meter drill programs completed during 2020 and 21. We finished the season with another phase 3 campaign of almost 3,000 meters, and that was finished just before Christmas. So phase 1, 2, and 3 drill program results to me have really confirmed the strong potential for resource expansion at Virginia. Plans are currently under review with Silver Sands, and we're hoping to get a phase 4 program in before the season ends. And just to remind everybody, we have a 4301 compliant resource at Virginia that we did back in 2012 in Mirasol. And just to remind you, the indicated is about 12 million ounces and the inferred another 3. So it's 15 million ounces of silver in that conceptual pit resource currently at Virginia. Now, if we look at the overall map here of the Virginia vein field, you can see all the drilling that's been done, both historically and recently. So within the option agreement with Silver Sands, we have completed 9,000 meters of drilling. In this case, actually, Mirasol is operating and they're funding. So it's a good relationship in that respect. And they've spent to date about $2.7 million in exploration expenditures on the property. You can see on the map on the left, the transparent dots are the historic resource definition drilling by Mirasol. And then the black holes are phase 1 and 2 by Silver Sands, and the recent drilling campaign are in red. So the highlights from the Virginia main drilling over the last several campaigns are that we've certainly confirmed the potential for new well-mineralized structures to expand outside of the current 43101 resource area. We've encountered significant intercepts, within the gaps and along the extensions of the principal veins at Virginia, referring to Alley Central, Alley North, Martina, and Julia South in particular. And we've also made a recent discovery of a new high-grade mineralized vein at Margarita, which is very exciting. We also went north in the Virginia project up to Santa Rita. If you look at the inset map on the left, you can see Virginia cluster here. And if you go about 20 kilometers to the north, you have Santa Rita Central and East. And further to the west, you actually have Santa Rita Main, where we did do some work back in 2008 with a partner at the Santa Rita Main. Santa Rita Main is a little different because it's a very much more typical low sulfidation style mineralization with both significant gold credits and silver values. This is a quartz adularia system, so it's a little bit different than what we see down at Virginia. But just to skim on the top here, drilling has confirmed that the structures mapped and sampled on surface do extend to depth, and they're providing us with vectors for deeper drilling. And following up on drilling is planned to further define the vertical and lateral extent and the continuity of these veins, these mineralized veins at Santa Rita. So that was a good start at Santa Rita. This to me is very exciting. We've had a package in San Juan province for a little while now. We've kind of kept tucked away, and this year I was able to evaluate them, which I'm very excited about. So these are in San Juan province of Argentina. These are 3 separate properties, together representing almost 11,000 hectares. They're obviously porphyry copper prospects. They all sit just to the south of Mirasol's Osiris project, just across the border in Chile. They sit within an area with lots of high-profile projects nearby. Some of those are Altar, Pachon, Palambres, Novicio, and West Wall, both in Chile and Argentina. These projects were 100% generated, staked, and owned by Mirasol. So there's no underlying, these are generated projects right from scratch. The initial field program just completed on 2 of these prospects, and we've got another one ongoing as we speak. So we'll have all 3 of them evaluated here very shortly. The field review has confirmed porphyry style signatures. Assay results are still pending and at least several weeks away, if not more. Chile's a little slow these days in the laboratory. All of these 3 projects really do represent underexplored areas. The completed field reviews confirm that the projects have geological characteristics, certainly in line with the other copper porphyry projects in the Miocene belt of San Juan. And all the projects display alteration footprints, large alteration footprints, good structural settings, and strong indications for mineralization. So this is very exciting. Let's go back to Santa Cruz again. This is Sasha Marcelina. It's a low sulfidation epithermal gold silver property. We've got a large portfolio of properties there. Elevation is 800 meters, which is high for Santa Cruz, but certainly low when compared to the high Andes. It's about 100 kilometers straight south of Newmont's Cerro Negro mine. We had about 25,000 hectares owned by Mirasol, and then we brought another 5,700 hectares in under an option to purchase agreement. Post-drilling, we were able to amend the agreement with the current owners with a new payment schedule, which is giving us much more flexibility moving forward, whether to move this forward self-funded or bring in a partner, we'll see. The maiden drill program and follow-up drill program was completed at Marcelina. More drilling is obviously required to continue testing this project. There's still a lot to do. Just to remind you, we did that deep Pellegrini hole number 7, which was drilled behind and underneath Pellegrini number 5. and that was designed to test the lateral and depth extent of that breccia body reported in a recent press release. It actually returned no significant metal, precious metal mineralization, but there was broad intersections of lead and zinc. And just to look at some of the numbers there quickly, 34 meters at 1.3 lead and 0.5% zinc. And that included a richer section of almost 16 meters at 2% and a 0.8 zinc. And then a very much richer core of 7.2 meters at 4% lead and 1.4% zinc. So just looking at what we did there, hole 2 was the first hole on the Pellegrini breccia. I did get some, highly anomalous gold and silver results. So we went underneath it with hole number 5. It got a very wide expanse of sub-gram gold and interesting silver and lots of base metals. And then coming underneath that, we came in with hole 7. So if you look at that, you obviously would think there's a mineralized body dipping off to the east. I don't think that's no longer the case. I think we have these antithetic veins that are actually dipping, and we've been drilling down the axis of these structures. So we're seeing that the precious metal mineralization decreases in intensity as we go further to the west, outboard and distal to the remaining untested central target. So that untested central target is a high chargeability neck with a coincident resistivity anomaly, and that was defined by the recent deep penetrating IP geophysics done at Marcelina. So just quickly, whether it's with an incoming partner or within Mirasol itself, I think obviously what we want to do is extend hole 2 deeper to go through the chargeability anomaly. If that looks reasonable, come across the west and drill east with a scissor hole, and that will tell us what we've got in that coincident chargeability IP anomaly. But it seems as we get further to the east, we're getting lesser precious metal mineralization. So I think we've missed the target. We have to go further west. So Sasha, Marcelina, potential remaining there. We've got widespread gold, silver, zinc, and lead mineralization, and that was all identified in Mirasol's drilling. We've got multiple vectors defined to untested targets remaining, and those include, Igloo, Pellegrini, and Estancia. There's targets left at all 3 of those. This is a district scale property package, and obviously there is potential for a third-party exploration partnership on this project. Back into Chile, and this is actually Inca gold. This is in the Paleocene belt of northern Chile. It's low elevation, talking about Chile, 2,000 to 3,000 meters above sea level, which is low. That gives us year-round access and lots of near infrastructure. There's lots of activity in this area, so lots of infrastructure. It's 100 kilometers north of Copiapó and just 17 kilometers east of the little community of Inca del Oro. We have an option agreement here with Newmont. We have completed the minimum drilling commitment required, so that's done, and the expenditures are up to date until early 2023. So there's no contractual pressures at the moment, and we want to go back in there and hopefully initiate that work at Vania, which is a conceptual copper gold porphyry prospect. I'll just quickly run you through that. At Vania, Newmont had done some DSG, which is their deep sensing geochemistry, got some pretty reasonable geophysical or geochemical anomalies. In their ground mag survey, they mapped out some pretty good structures. So you can see those north-northwest and north-northeast structures. Somebody's gone off mute. Okay, so you can see those intersection of the structures. You've got a really strong magnetic depletion zone there. So my idea is to go underneath all this, do some IP pole-dipole lines, and see if we can get some good chargeability anomalies at depth. And if we can do that, that's going to represent a really strong drill target. Okay, back into Santa Cruz at Libanesa. Again in Santa Cruz, this is a low sulfidation epithermal gold, maybe some intermediate in these breccias. It's located in the northeast margin of the Deseado Massif. Our partner there is Golden Arrow Resources, which, as I mentioned, was a Grosser Group company. The drill targeting campaign is complete, and the 2,000-meter maiden drill program is planned to start very shortly. We could get news that the they're ready to go. So we're hoping in the next days to come, we're going to get in, and advise that they've started. Geologically speaking, it hosts several diversified geological, geochemical, and geophysical supported drill targets. I think at Cerro Plomo, which is the main target there at Libanesa, it's characterized by a very well mineralized gold and silver hydrothermal breccia that's exposed on surface. At Libanesa Main, which kind of surrounds basically Cerro Plomo, there's lots of peripheral polymetallic veins, and they're supported with really strong base metal, plus or minus gold. And Lagunita, which is in the northern part of the prospect, has reported some really encouraging rock gold samples from surface sampling and trenches. And it forms a more typical low sulfidation type epithermal vein and breccia target. So just to sum up and kind of summarize, you can see the four orange colored projects are our self-funded. So at Sobek, we're doing detailed recon. At Sasha Marcelina, we've talked about the potential for new exploration partnership there. Lots of targets yet to be drilled. Inca Gold, I want to get that IP going probably in March on Vanya. El Tesoro, that 2,000 meter drill program is expected, and we could be either self-funding or bringing in a partner there. Libanesa, as I said, the drills are idling and getting ready to go. At Coronation, they have that 3,000 meter drill commitment pending to get done as soon as they get through the engagement. At Virginia, drill plans are under review for the remaining of the season. I'm certainly hoping we can get a phase 4 drill campaign in there before the end of the season. At Gorbea, surface review of those other untested prospects in the Gorbea package, which will be very interesting to see how that evolves. At Nord, Minera Activa, or Encantada, is their operating company. Additional surveys under review for defining new drill targets. They're advancing quite well at that project. At Ruby, with MDF, that deep sensing IP and MT geophysical program, we're hoping to get that done before Q1 or just into Q2. And at Homanaki with Patagonia Gold, their drill targeting program is currently ongoing. So just in summary again, Mirasol, we're focused on making the next discovery in Chile and or Argentina. And we're going to do that by defining and drill testing multiple quality exploration projects. And that's either through self-funded or partner-funded exploration. So, this last year has been a very exciting time in Mirasol. This is really boots on the ground exploration this year. We've been on the back of mules and in helicopters and quadriciclos and walking up the gully. So it's